I got started when I was very young. My grandmother owned a daycare, so it was something that I was brought up into, so that's where my passion kind of developed. And from there, I pretty much was like, okay, instead of running away from it, this is where I need to be. So as far as training, once I finished my degree and I realized, this is where I wanted to be, or this is where I was being called to or pulled to, then from there I started looking into places where I could get education, because for me education was a big thing. So I started and I went and did the newborn care specialist program course, and then from there on just trying to find things to build on top of the knowledge what I had gained from that course. So funny enough, after I did the course, we had to do a practicum. So I had to have 3 practicum families, and so since the course was in the United States, I was hoping, since I was living there, that I would actually be able to do families out there, but it just so happened that all the families that I did for my practicums were in Bermuda. So it was like, okay, it's time to go back home. And so that's kind of what pulled me back home. But then I did a questionnaire, and then I was, asking parents what they were looking for. And then I was like, I think this is something that Bermuda is missing, and it would be very beneficial to families to kind of focus on this, first couple of months to the first year of life. So what I saw was missing was that, we have a lot of information in regards to birthing and the pregnancy process, but no courses or information or support for parents once the babies actually came. So parents were getting information about the birthing process and pregnancy and healthy pregnancy and, the likes, but those times in the first 3 months specifically, what do they do from there? And I was finding that parents were struggling during that portion, or they were winging it. And I'm like, this time period is too important to wing. So that's where I felt I needed to be, and having that newborn care specialist background and having the passion for babies, I was like, this area really does need some tender loving care. So from the courses, most of the families are saying, oh, Calvina, she's so informed, she's so gentle, she comes with a soft touch, she isn't pushy, she gives me information so that I have options, and they really do see me as a part of their family. Like one of my families actually was like, I see her as an extended part of my family to help me to raise my child, and it's made me such a more confident parent, in parenting my young one. One of my moms was like, I felt like, because she actually did the course after her little one was here, and she was like, I felt like things would be instinctual and things will, just kick in naturally. And she was like, it did, but, it was so helpful to have my information and my support and me there to kind of guide her through those, challenging periods. So since the opportunity with Humera, I've been able to expand my knowledge, so that way I can, give parents more research-based and informed knowledge, so that way they can make an informed decision. Demoing things as far as like diapers, where they actually got to change diapers, being able to see the information. So I actually was able to get a LCD projector, so that way, I had just had a little small television, and now they can actually see it, it's clear. So I've been able to get toys for demoing, and that way they can, explore how to use them. So I actually have them playing with the toys and thinking about, how they can use them in different stages of development. So not just, banking on a toy just for when the baby is 0 to 3 months, but also thinking about it as far as when they get 6 to 9 months as well. So So going forward, I look forward to gaining information in regards to postpartum. So that's one of my focuses, because I actually had a family who I felt like she had some form of postpartum, and being more aware and how to help her do that, or help them do that period. The other thing I'm looking forward to doing is focusing more on fathers and their involvement. So for me, one of the touching things is, focusing more so on the emotional and mental and the social aspects of a young child, and knowing how important it is for their foundation. Just knowing that people have issues, and growing up, if these issues aren't dealt with or they weren't supported, it can go farther and farther into their adult life and, kind of take them off the Richter scale. But if only we focused or took that time to dive deep into the young one when they're, in these tender ages between 0 to 3, how much better off they could possibly be if we supported them better during those times, specifically socially, mentally, and emotionally. That's something that's really, really touching for me, and I just wish more people focused on, and not the stuff of having a baby, but more of the child, the person, and who they will be. Yeah. Okay.